No, go ahead.
I did quite an extended road trip, primarily centered around New Orleans, and visited a lot of surplus stores. And
You also met up with some
good
potential.
stuff.
You met up with some potential associates too, correct?
People that the owners of these stores, hopefully. I found a chain of stores, and they were all owned by the same company. I guess it's a family deal. And the managers of the stores got to know me as I traveled, because they were in 4 different cities. They kind of got to know me as I traveled around the state. When I got to the last 2, they said, "Oh, I heard about you." So,
But how long were you gone?
well, if I tell people that, it might discourage them. I think. Well, I mean, it was having a fun time trip too, because I met up with some friends of mine from Australia while I was there. But I think I was gone 18 days, but that's because the vehicle broke down on the way back. You didn't hear about that, did you?
No, I didn't hear about that. So we've got. I warned you about that before you left too. But so you're 18 days on the road, mostly sourcing, having a little fun. You're meeting up with some Australian compatriots. So, I mean, I guess I would call this kind of your 18-day walkabout odyssey of sourcing, correct?
I'd say so. What was
This is what he got.
What I really liked about the stores, though, was they all had some overlap of inventory, but each one had different inventory too that none of the other stores had. Like, for example, the first one I was at, they were overflowing, and it's further in, you won't see that for a while. But they had a couple of rows overflowing with diapers. Name brand stuff, Pampers and Huggies and whatever. And, I saw that some have been marked $7.99, for a regular size pack, which was still a decent price, but I did see then some that were marked down to $6.99. And as I got to know the manager there and so forth, and started saying, I'd fill up a cart, and I'd make sure I find the manager, and I'd leave the cart next to her. I'd say, "Hey, can I leave this with you, because I need another cart." So she kind of got the feeling that I was going to be buying a lot. And then anyway, so I just said to her, I said, how are these diapers moving for you and so forth? And she said, well, they're doing okay. And I said, well, if you wanted to clear some space, I'd take as many as you want at $5 a piece. And she kind of looked around a little bit, and then she goes, clear the shelf. So I've got like 500 boxes, or not boxes.
500 boxes of diapers.
500 bags of diapers in here. But these, I can leave the price on for that. I actually didn't get that much of a discount on these.
So why'd you buy
But
them?
Nancy knows what these are. Well, because they scan pretty good. They are 4 outdoor trail socks, heavy duty, right? Someone's calling me. But the brand Kirkland.
Yep.
So this was actually related to the chain of grocery stores I spent some time at, but this was more home goods and whatever. And they do get Costco returns. And that's where I called you from when I was back in their warehouse and digging around. I got these there. But I believe, well, the one thing I'm not certain of, though, that's not bad. 39,000 in outdoors. I forget. I got to look again at what the sell-through rate on that is. But going for $21.21, and I got them for $6.
And how many did you get?
180 sets.
180 cents.
But the good thing about these is they don't have an expiration date.
True.
And people's feet are going to get cold next winter as well as this year. So even if they don't all sell this year, I'm fine with that.
How big is this truck now? People are seeing the back of this. They have no idea how long this is.
It's only 10 feet.
10 feet.
It's 402 cubic feet.
And it's full to the rafters.
Now this was fun. Every one of these stores I went to, this was one of the first things I looked for, was the Friskies Party Mix. That 2 for $1, but because I was buying them in volume, I think I got them for 3 for $1. But I forget. But these are in 10 packs, or are going for $20 some, and maybe have $3 into them. And then I have actually sold these before, and they've done very well. They've pretty much sold as soon as they've gotten into stock.
And how many of those did you pick up?
I would guess I probably have 300 or 400. This box, and this box. And okay, Nancy, we can at least pretend this has some resemblance to health food. Because even though it's Chex granola mix, it is gluten-free. Hey, let me check it out. We might have a little trouble getting those price tags off. Those, I pretty much found those at every store. Those are one of the first things we do need to process, though, because
expiration?
They're closer on expiration than other things.
So what was the cost of something like that?
These, I'm pretty sure I got them for $1.25. Yeah, these are May 2016 expiration date, so that...
They're at about 7 months.
So that means we can call it May 31st.
Right.
So it'd be the end of March. We've got till the end of March for these to sell. They come off good?
Yep.
Be careful with that gun. She's wild with that gun, man.
So...
Oh, now this I got a bunch of. And these sell in 12 packs. Coffee Mate. But it's the original, but it's light. So, hey Nancy, do you have this on your phone? The scanning app? Can you scan this?
Let me ask you this. Did you, on your 18-day odyssey, were you able to find things that were maybe you couldn't find here? I mean, was it worthwhile in that sense to take that long trip?
There was one item, and it's buried here someplace. But I found some little canned, and it called itself chili. That's for, it was called Texas something. And it looked like it was for on hot dogs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that at only one of these stores, and they were 59 cents a can. And I believe the only one, it was ranked top, I think top 5% in grocery, and I'd scan it if I could find it right now. And the 12 packs, the only ones out there were selling for $88.
Really?
Now I looked at Keepa, and I think $50 is more reasonable for the 12 packs that cost $5.
Question is, though, you went on this 18-day trip, you spent a lot of money, you bought a lot of stuff, as we can see in the truck here. Was it worth the trip?
Oh yeah, because you know this from the way you work, Mike. It's about building relationships. So at 4 of the stores, I was able to negotiate directly with the store manager there. At the 5th one, which was where I got the socks from and so forth, I thought I was gonna, first the district manager, I met him there in the morning. He oversees the warehouse that supplies these multiple locations. And I asked him, I said, well, is Svet was her name. I said to Svet, I was able to negotiate bulk prices with the other store managers. Is Svet able to do that? And he goes, oh yeah, she can make those decisions. So I thought I'd be negotiating or making an offer to her, and I did make an offer, and she's writing it all down. And then apparently she calls the owner of the company and says, here, can you look at these and tell me what you think? So what happened from that was, I didn't get the prices I want, and so he came back to me, and this was at the hard goods store, where the socks were and so forth. And most of the other stores, I'd say in general, the managers gave me about a third off of what they had stuff marked on.
And these were things that are already marked pretty well.
Yeah, on the shelf. But then this guy here at this hard goods store that was selling Costco returns and other things, in my opinion, their pricing was higher. And when I was back in the warehouse, I was talking with one of the gals back there, and she was prepping stuff. She was cleaning it and whatever, and putting a price tag on it after she looked to see if they already have had it in inventory, or if not, the way she priced it was they look for the online price, and they were discounting it 20%. That's what they're selling the stuff at in their store. So I think they were overpriced to begin with. So I wasn't negotiating with the decision maker, and she gets in touch with the owner, and he comes back and says, yeah, I'll give you, because you're willing to buy so much, I'll give you the biggest discount in the history of this store, 25%. And
that didn't impress you?
Then Svet was, she had my list of stuff. She said, so so how much of this stuff do you want? And I looked at her, I said, none of it. You know, because it just didn't work in terms of the numbers. So, but the good thing that came out of it is I did go through the store, and then I found things that there was stuff, and the, I would say in terms of, I was trying to hit 4 to 1 in terms of return.
Right.
You know, spend $5, be able to sell it for 20 on most stuff. And the socks ended up not quite being there because they seemed to be a high volume seller. That didn't really bother me. So I was still able to, you know, because I still wanted to demonstrate to her, hey, listen, you know, some of the stuff I can buy it, you know, at your regular price. Though they gave me the 25% off on the socks. And,
Well, that's good.
and what else did I get there? Oh, you haven't seen those yet, Nancy.
So how much do you think you spent on this trip?
6,000.
$6,000.
Right. Well, you got to probably figure $1,000 and maybe even more, 1,500 in travel expenses.
Okay, so based on that, how much do you think you gathered in potential income, profit?
Well, I hadn't figured the profit directly. I just know it's
I know you've been thinking about it.
no. I mean, it's easily you know, 4 to 1 on average, because some of this stuff is way more than a.
When you say 4 to 1, you're talking about before FBA fees.
Right. So, which would be what? Meaning about instead of doubling your money, tripling your money. So
Right.
for spending 5, you profit 10.
Right.
So, I mean, I would think after all is said and done, after this load, it should be $12,000 to $15,000 profit. But you know, I don't want to be like Daryl on Storage Wars, right? Hey, Mike, that's a $30 bill. All
That's
day
a
long.
$50 bill all day long.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's not anything until
It's not anything. So somebody puts.
Did you
some
see
money in.
these, Nancy? These are kind of cool. It's some water bottle with a built-in filter.
Well, we're gonna let Bill unload this beast, and Bill, if you can take some video as you're going along, and we can kind of show people what's going on, and I mean, people talk about sourcing trips. This is kind of the big daddy of sourcing trips as far as length of time.
Well, you know, part of it, honestly, it's just, you know, it's kind of an adventure. I enjoy doing it, so.
And I heard
It's not for everybody. I mean, I know a lot of people like doing online arbitrage, and I haven't started doing that. I'm more hands-on.
Absolutely. I know your wife and kids were happy as hell to have you gone for 18 days. That worked out for them, so that's a plus. All right, we'll let Bill get to work here and figure out what he's going to do with all this stuff, but I'm sure you'll be interested to find out how it all shakes out. So stick around.